Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode where it's not quite the relegation battle we predicted that it could be, partly because we've played well, but partly because the teams below us have been absolutely abysmal. So we are safe from relegation, nothing really to play for this season. So we've come back for the final game of the season against Alcorcon, and then we'll talk a little bit about next season. So since you were last here, we've actually done pretty well, I must say. You were last here for the 1-0 win against Real Madrid B and the 4-1 loss to Malaga. Since then, only one loss in the games. Actually, it's been all right, not too bad. Tenerife a 1-1 draw, Las Palmas a 1-0 victory, and then we followed up with another 1-1 draw against Valencia B. The only game we did lose in between episodes was a 1-0 loss to Barcelona B, but we have picked up 2 wins since then. Against Almeria, as Scott Marshall and Raul Zabalaga get themselves on the score sheet, and then a 3-0 victory against Cordoba with Timo Wolf, Raul Zabalaga and Raul Jr. scoring the goals. What that means for the league table is that we currently are 14th, and actually a win today could take us up to 12th, which would be very impressive for our first season in this division. If we lose it, we could drop down to nowhere. So 14th at the worst, 12th at the highest, given our points tally so far. Today's opposition though, Alcorcon, it's a little bit differently. They need to win to avoid relegation. Cordoba are also playing. They are playing against Las Palmas, who are below them in the table. Cordoba win, they go ahead of Alcorcon if they lose to us. So Alcorcon, the team that is currently in possession of Randy Schneider, our former player, could be about to go down if we beat them. So let's jump into the game. There are a couple of knocks and injuries around some players, but we'll ignore them for now until it's the final game of the season. Nothing really to play for too much. Dekene starts in goal. Superb season for him. He is my player of the season, so I'm very, very happy with him. Gotti, Shigel, Caesar, Kahinde and Dio Garcia make up that back line with Scott Marshall and Cipollina through the middle. This time, Daz Finley and Zabalaga out on the wings because Timo Wolf is currently serving a suspension, with Raul Jr. with his 23 goals this season leads the line. Most of those goals came in the first third of the season. He's been not so great in the last few games of the season. Apparently, this is the first time all season we've put Prats on the bench, so he's got to pick up a number. Prats, congratulate. He's retiring in the season. He might play his first game for the club. It's his first involvement in a matchday squad. He's literally here just to tutor players, so that's a little bit embarrassing for him. But as kickoff is upon us for one final time this season, I must say I am pleasantly surprised actually at how well we have done this season. We came into this division expecting to be bottom 4 fodder, and we've shown that we are a bit better than that. Not much better, but we are better. I think a lot of the time at the start of the season we got particularly lucky. We were very, very good at the start of the season, but I think that was to do with a bit of momentum, high morale and having a bit of luck on our side. I think the second half of the season has been a bit more reflective of our actual ability in this division, and I think we probably should be a little bit further down the table than we actually are. And as you can see, Alcorcon take the lead. They are hoping that they can get the win to them, put us in our place a little bit, try and get a good win against us and avoid relegation. Is Randy Schneider playing for them? We can't quite tell yet. There's a highlight straight from kickoff, so hopefully we equalise straight away as Zabalaga gets the ball from Michael Cipollina. Absolute pace from him into Raul Jr., who shoots and it's blocked, unfortunately. Their keeper clears it, but only as far as Dio Garcia, but he loses possession immediately. And Martinez now coming forward, plays it into his other centre midfield partnership, and Vargas now coming forward on the ball. Nice ball through into their strikers who shoot from distance and put it just wide. So is Randy Schneider playing for them? He's not in their starting 11 and not on the bench either. What are they playing at? Randy Schneider is a quality player. I'm upset that he's not playing against us. I was expecting to see him in the starting lineup and expecting to see him do well as Raul Jr. gets a great header on the ball, but it's a great save from the Alcorcon keeper. In the meantime, Scott Marshall on the ball instead as Gotti gets it out to Daz Finley. Daz tackle, but only as far as Gotti. Gotti to swing one into the middle. Raul Jr. is there again, and he just drags it wide. I think we're starting to see a bit of a plateau in Raul Jr. He's obviously been incredible the past few seasons, and he's still been incredible this season. He's the third highest goal scorer in this division. However, well, maybe I'm being harsh on him just because he's not quite scoring as many goals as he did last season. He's still getting more than 20 goals a season in the league. In the second tier of Spanish football, he is still incredible. It's just that we have been absolutely treated by him. Absolutely treated by him, scoring 30 plus goals the past 3 years in a row. Half time though, we are 1-0 down. Nothing really to be worried about because of course we can't really go up or down much at all from our position, and it is the final day of the season, and I would like to see Randy Schneider stay in our division, but it would be nice to finish off the season with a win, and actually I think it'd be our 3rd win in a row, and that'd be the first time we would have done it this season. So to finish the season with some good form, that would be really impressive and good to take into next season. So ideally, getting the win might do some good for the Morales. Cipollina puts a great ball forward to Raul Zubalaga, who, we just getting so unlucky. How have we not scored that one? Scott Marshall's corner into the middle is cleared, but Raul Zubalaga on the ball. Come on, lad, get this in the middle. He's not quite done it. Half an hour or so to go in this game, and another highlight for is Scott Marshall on the ball into Raul Zubalaga. Put it across the 6-yard area, and again, those Alcorcon defenders are just getting the blocks in every single time. Our XG is through the roof. We're just getting unlucky, I must say. And now he can guarantee that Alcorcon will score a second goal as Dekene collects the loose ball. Zubalaga on the ball in the attack, and it's been cleared, but only as far as Scott Marshall, who unleashes one from distance. And finally, we have the breakthrough in the game that I think we deserve. Let's just watch this one again, because this is a goal to be happy with. Scott Marshall, edge of the area, just takes it down, hits it on his left foot, top corner, absolutely beautiful. So if we draw this game, nothing happens. If we win this game, by looks of things, 2 extra points might take us ahead of Eibar. So let's quickly go to attacking. Let's shout demand more, and let's really push this going forward. Come on, let's try and grab a goal at the end of this game. Get ourselves 12th in the table. I don't think it makes a difference for anything like prize money. And if anything, actually, it means we lose more money because we have to pay more out to the players in position finishing for the table or the division. You know what I mean? It's the bonus you set right at the start of the season. If you win the league, you get like £1 million, and then it's sort of reduced down to where you actually come in the table. I can't remember how much we said we're going to give our players. Raul Jr. still can't score today, and that was the moment to put us 12th in the table. As the clock ticks down, I don't think we're going to quite get that winner. Eibar must have dropped a point or a goal somewhere, because we have gone ahead of them in the table right at the end. So I think we finished 13th this season, which I think is very respectable for our first season in this division. So Valladolid are crowned champions. They're promoted alongside Mallorca. Malaga just missed out on those automatic places. They'll be in the playoffs alongside Lugo, Fuenlabrada and Deportivo La Coruña. Not that matters to us too much, because we're obviously staying in this division. I think what we need to talk about a little bit, though, is next season. I think the first thing to talk about is this, apparently. I was going to talk about formations, but apparently this is the end of season review. The new arrivals. I guess we can talk about this. Cahinde. He was superb this season. Obviously on loan for a second season in a row. We're going to try and get him back next year, because he is so good, but we can't promise that because it's going to be very, very difficult. Diego Garcia, I'd like to see him back as well, because he was really good this season too. Gotti and Anthony, I'm not so fussed about them, but Diego Garcia, Cahinde, I want them back on loan. Nothing really interesting about the results. We've filled our stadium 99%, or 99% of our stadium is full every single game on average, so that's very, very good. That bodes well for our stadium expansion when it comes in at the end of next season. We don't get it for next season. I think we're still building it next season. It comes in for the 2027-28 season, I believe, which is quite nice. Moments to remember, a 4-0 win against Nastic. That was good. Match to remember, that's the biggest win, sorry. Match to remember was a 4-1 win against Villarreal B. That was the opening day of the season. That was very exciting. Goal of the season, though, went to Scott Marshall. Was that the game we just played? No, it wasn't. Well, let's have a look at his goal, shall we? Scott Marshall, goal of the season. He only scores bangers. We saw a banger last time out, and this one was a banger as well. Scott Marshall, you love to see it. The finances, actually, this season have been okay. We're making more on sponsorship, so much more on broadcast revenue. That's the biggest difference. Last season, £51,000. This season, £5 million. That's been the biggest difference. We're still in the red because we still lose money elsewhere, particularly on contracts now, which is not so good. But that has saved us massively. Corporate is basically nothing, and matchday income is up a little bit as well, actually. That'll go up massively when we get our new stadium too. So hopefully this is a new dawn for our financial situation. Raul Zubalaga, apparently the best average rating in the squad this season, with his 7 goals and 12 assists, which was, 7 assists and 12 goals, I should say. 23 goals for Raul Jr. But my player of the season was Dekene. I think without him, we'd have really struggled. On to the accolades then. Fans player of the season was Zubalaga. Young player of the season was Zubalaga. Signing of the season was Cesar. And goal of the season, obviously, was Scott Marshall. But Raul Jr. does collect the goal scoring records. Most goals by a player, Raul Jr. Most goals in a league match, Raul Jr. Most goals in a match, Raul Jr. Okay, that was the same one basically. So I think we can be pretty happy with that. A few players inducted into the overall best 11, which is interesting. Where are they now? We don't really care too much. What we are interested in is the budget. The budget is £30,000 per week. So we're losing £3,500 a week on our, well, £3,000 on our wage bill. That's not so good. I think what we're going to do immediately is probably, let's make budget adjustment. Oh, we can't actually adjust it anymore. Okay, well, we're going to struggle on wages a little bit, I think. We've already seen that we can only afford 22 players in our current wage bill on that £1,400 per week. So this means maybe like 20 players. Oh, it's not great. The club culture has changed a little bit. They want us to play defensive, direct, counter-attacking football. I'll be honest, I don't agree with that. I mean, we kind of have played defensive football a bit this season, but I don't like to set myself up like that. I don't like inviting pressure on too much. So I'm going to try and stay away from that. And we'll talk a little bit about tactics now. So I think there's 3 routes we can go down next season. I'm going to clear the team just to start off with. Clear entire team selection. I think there's a few routes we can go down next season. We could stay like this, but I think that would be wrong. I think we've obviously stayed up this season. We've built a platform. I think next season our midfield needs some more support. Maybe a slight change in roles as well. But I think the 2 options we have are pushing these guys up to be wing backs to just sort of help out there a little bit and provide a bit of support down the wings, and that's an option for us. I think that could work okay, and potentially we could ditch the wingers, but our wingers are very good, so I'd rather not ditch the wingers. Or we go back to a tried and tested method that got us promoted to this division in the first place. We switch up to this. We just basically move a centre-back into that CDM spot. And I think that might be the more logical move now that hopefully we should be signing players who are better overall. And I think this might just be more fruitful for us next season. That midfield gets a little bit more support. Obviously, we scored plenty of goals with this formation as well, so that shouldn't change too much. So I think this is probably the way to go. But I think the wing-backs we sign have to be able to play wing-back roles as well, not just the wing-back position. Wing-back role, they have to play the wing-back position. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? In terms of contracts expiring, obviously, in terms of contracts expiring, Juan Diaz obviously leaving the club. That's a little bit frustrating. Tomic is also leaving the club. He was offered the contract elsewhere, and I wasn't really fussed about offering him a big contract. Prats is retiring, although he's only here as a tutor. Albert retiring as well, leaving the club anyway, because I'm not going to give him a new contract. So that's 4 players leaving the club. The keeper will leave, Diego Fuoli, and we do have a new keeper coming in already. I'll show you him in a minute. That means that only Daz Finley and Jezovic have contracts expiring. They will be offered new contracts, obviously, because we can't let those guys go. And as I say, obviously, these guys on loan are leaving, but we want to try and get back Kahinde and Dio Garcia because they are quality. From the under-19 squad, if we sort it by ability, Giovanni Caicedo, he's been on loan this season. He'll be promoted to the first team to replace Juan Diaz as that backup right winger for us next season. Ben Draper, who is a regen and will be claimed, I'm sure. I'm recording this before I've actually posted this on Patreon, so someone will claim him at some point, but Ben Draper, he'll be moved to the first team as well, I imagine. And players like Josho, Robbo, I think they might even get chances next season as well, particularly because they are on £1,400 per week. They need to be playing games. Ideally, we need to be selling someone for a lot of money. That could be Raul Zubillaga, if I'm honest with you. He's been wanted a lot of the time. He's very, very good, and obviously we'd miss him, but we could do with the money. That extra money that we get in might increase our wage budget a little bit, and that might help us out, you know, getting better players in for the entire team. So I feel like someone does have to go, and I don't want to have to sell anyone, but Raul Zubillaga, it might have to be him. Speaking of the ins though, a keeper is coming in. I saw him on the scout report and I thought I've got to go for this keeper before someone else does. Marty Gonzalez coming in from Mallorca. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. The scouts say La Liga potential in the future. So not as good as the Kene just yet. He'll be our cup goalkeeper, I think, Gonzalez, although we might be out in the cup in the first round. So that's just 1 game a season for him. So we'll have to try and work something out for Marty Gonzalez. But if the Kene ever gets injured or leaves or something like that, we know we've got a good young keeper coming through underneath him who is very good with potential. So going into next episode, that'll be the transfer special. Not tomorrow because there'll be like an experiment video coming out, but the day afterwards we'll have the transfer special coming out. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a very good season coming up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And of course, if you have done, drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.